Welcome to Prince Shorted House. Exercise number 95 and 96. Sir KAILASH CHANDRA 140 words a minute. 1000 total words. Be ready? Start. Sir, the Honorable Minister has said that because this bill is of a complicated nature, he has come forward with this measure to extend the blanket cover that is to be given by another 1 year. Sir, in my opinion, the bill as such is not complicated, but the government have made it more complicated by getting into certain things which, in my opinion, are certainly extraneous for the purpose of this bill. Sir, in the course of 1 year, this bill has come up before this house 3 times. This is the third time that this bill is coming up before the house. The parent bill was introduced in December 2003, and in less than 1 year, two amending bills were being moved before us. Even at the time when the parent bill was moved, it was suggested by several members, both on this side as well as on the other side of the house, that it is safe to enumerate in the bill itself by attaching a schedule to it to specify clearly provisions as to what would amount to an office of profit and what would not amount to an office of profit. It was then stated by the then honorable mover of the bill that it was not necessary to attach any schedule to the bill, and that the bill by itself as moved was comprehensive enough. Then, sir, certain difficulties were felt, and various members of this house as well as of the other house had addressed the honorable law minister, then asking him whether their remaining in a particular committee would amount to an office of profit or not. Probably looking at the numerous letters that had been addressed to the honorable law minister, he was in a dilemma as to what to do. He has come forward with an amending bill to extend the life till the end of December 2001. A committee was constituted to advise the honorable law minister as to which offices would amount to offices of profit and which offices would not amount to offices of profit. Sir, I am told by one or two members who had served in that advisory committee that only during this session, they were summoned to meet. I would ask the honorable minister, sir, this question. When it was such an important measure, what was the ministry doing from April 2004 till December 2004, accepting to come forward before the House with another amending bill of this nature? Originally, sir, only 4 months' time was asked for when the parent bill was moved, and it was stated that within that period of 4 months they would come forward with a comprehensive legislation. Then again they came forward with another amending bill extending the period till December 2004. Now, between April and December, nothing has happened excepting that the advisory committee has been constituted and it met once only, just to recommend for extending the period by another 1 year. Sir, nobody in both the houses would oppose this measure, but they can only criticize the way in which the government is dealing with this measure, the way in which the government is sleeping over the matter, a matter which affects the very life of a member of parliament, not only a member of parliament but also a member of the state legislature. As the Honorable the Law Minister has pointed out, Article 102 of our Constitution does not define what is an office of profit except to say that a membership or a deputy membership or even a parliamentary secretaryship, and by a later amendment even a whip of the Congress party would not amount to an office of profit. Only a few instances are specified as to which offices would not amount to an office of profit. Then, sir, applications had arisen even when the original bill was moved, introducing statutory committees and advisory committees. What a statutory committee was or what an advisory committee was not at all defined in the parent bill. So, doubts had arisen in the minds of various members as to what would amount to a statutory committee or what would amount to an advisory committee, or even whether a vice chairmanship of a university to which are attached certain privileges like the appointment of so many persons and all that was defined as not an office of profit, and the honorable the law minister was not able to say what office would amount to an office of profit, what would amount to a statutory committee, or what would amount to an advisory committee. Sir, I have only to point out that an important measure such as this, which affects the very existence of the members of parliament, should have been given a very high priority in the matter of legislation. On the contrary, not much attention was given to this. The committee met only once, and even then, nothing seems to have happened in that committee. Sir, before the matter goes to a court of law for the judges and for the lawyers to interpret what would amount to an office of profit, it is better that the Honorable the Law Minister brings forward in the coming budget session a comprehensive bill which will specify in its schedules what are offices of profit. The schedule may be of a positive character or of a negative character. The schedule might say that the holders of such and such offices would not be disqualified from being members of parliament or members of state legislatures, or the schedule might say in a negative way that such offices are offices of profit, so that the members of parliament and members of the state legislatures would know whether to accept an office and whether they would be disqualified by accepting a certain office. Next para. As you have already pointed out, under Article 323 of the Constitution, the Union Public Service Commission submits annual reports, and these reports are laid before both the Houses of Parliament along with any memorandum, if there be any, from the government, explaining their position as to why they have not accepted the particular advice of the Commission. Sir, we have so far received 3 such reports from the Commission, and I have gone through these reports. Sir, the general impression that I have gathered after going through these 3 reports is that apart from the fact that there have been cases of non-acceptance of the Commission's advice in many important matters, there are, sir, very serious irregularities committed by the executive government in the matter of appointment to the civil post and the civil services. If you permit me, sir, I may add that I have found that there are occasions when the government has even bypassed the Houses of Parliament in their anxiety to provide for their rights. Sir, under Article 320 of the Constitution, as you have already pointed out, the recruitments to civil posts and the civil services are to be made by the Union Public Service Commission. There are 2 basic ideas underlying this system of recruitment to the civil services adopted in our Constitution. Firstly, we desire that all eligible persons to a particular post should be entitled to enter into a fair and free competition to get that job. Secondly, we want to avoid all elements of patronage in the matter of appointments to our civil services. You will find that under the old regulation which has been kept in force under Article 372, there are several categories of employment and posts which have been kept away from the purview of the Union Public Service Commission. One of these categories is temporary appointments lasting for less than a year. I maintained from a review of all these reports that the government has abused this power of temporary appointments. The government has used it as a shield to bestow all kinds of patronage. Sir, if you look at the post, you will find that on the very face of it, they are not a temporary post, but that they are likely to continue for more than a year. Sir, appointments to such posts are made as temporary appointments merely to avoid the Union Public Service Commission. In the name of temporary and emergency appointments, I find that a large number of appointments are being made. The glaring examples are the Community Projects Administration and the All India Radio under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. We find, as a matter of fact, such appointments being made by every ministry, but these are the very glaring examples, and I would like the Honorable Minister to tell this House as to how many temporary appointments are being made every year by the government and how many of them are continued even after the end of the year. Sir, they make the temporary appointments and they keep these appointments going on year after year, and they do not also consult the commission, although under the constitution they are required to do so. Apart from bringing on an element of patronage in the civil appointment, this procedure acts very unfair to the other candidates who compete from the open market when these temporary posts are made permanent. When the appointments are regularized by inviting applications by means of advertisements, what happens is this: we cannot prevent these temporary appointees from competing in such examinations, and these temporary appointee who have gained experience at the cost of the taxpayer committee with the candidates from the open market and do better because of the experience that they have gained. I know it from my personal knowledge that appointments in the temporary cadre are purposely made in order that a particular candidate may gain experience and do better at competitive examinations and have a better chance of getting a permanent government service. Otherwise, he could never have got such a post. Sir, not only this, but the commission have also referred to the fact that advertisements are drafted in such a way that it may suit a particular person. On page 9 of the first report, they say advertisements for post in the category of technical, scientific or specialized qualifications are often so drafted by ministry as to tend to restrict the recruitment to the limited circle of persons already holding the post advertised or analogs posts. One of the main functions of the commission is to so draft and advertisement without sacrificing the requirements of the post as to ensure a competitive selection for the post from the widest field. I have looked into the regulations and the method by which the Public Service Commission work in UK. The ministries merely inform the Service Commission and they want such a post to be filled with a person of such and such qualification. The advertisement is drafted by the Service Commission and not by the ministries as to done here. Here government are anxious to bestow patronage, and therefore it is that they wanted to avoid going to the Public Service Commission and continue to make these temporary appointments and draft the advertisements themselves. I find from the report that as early as January 2001, the Commission submitted their proposals to the government as to how the existing regulations should be remodeled so that each page should come under the purview of the Union Public Service Commission. Now the government has not taken any decision in this matter. These proposals ought to have been placed before both houses of parliament as required under the constitution, so that the houses will be fully seized of the problems which are facing appointments and would give their directions as to how appointments in the civil services should be made. Stop.